But welcome, guys, to the Systems for Success one-day workshop. We've got a fantastic lineup today, some great speakers, and some real quality in the room as well with you guys. So back in 2015, we had our first event. That was a How to Go Paperless event. And I remember kicking that one off by talking about how your system sets you free. That was the message, right? And they absolutely do. Like, systems do free up time, they free up money, and that then in turn allows you to put better systems in place to access better people, to free up more time and more money, and then you get on that positive spiral. Okay, so that's what today's about. We want to get you guys on the right track and on that positive spiral. But I don't have to tell you guys the benefits of having good systems in place, right? Putting best practice systems with good systems and technology in your business. Obviously, there's lots of benefits to that. So why is it so difficult to get it done well? So a couple of things. Firstly, we're living in times, first of all, this is the best time to be in business, right? If you unplug from the media and all the bad news, it's exciting times. There's great opportunity out there, right? There's never been a better time to be alive, one, and to be in business. So why is it so difficult? Well, first of all, it's overwhelming with all the types of systems out there. The choice makes it quite overwhelming to decide, what system is best for you and your business, your situation, and where you want to go. Secondly, if you make that decision, say you find the right system, whether for your financials, your marketing, your job scheduling, how do you set that thing up quickly and well? That becomes a sticking point for a lot of people. And then once you've got past that point, over that hump, how do you ensure that you and your team use the systems consistently well? So systems compliance becomes a big issue as well. So we're going to address all three of those issues for you guys today. Make sure you make the right decision, that you get onboarded quickly and well. And the way to do that is through accessing the right people, and then also that you and your team follow through on the systems. One of the tools we're going to use today is this workbook, which arrived like 10 minutes before we kicked off. All right, this is one of the best workbooks we've ever put together, and I'll explain that to you a little bit later. But let's look at how we're going to conquer this beast, because it is like on the surface or from the outside looking in. If you think back to when you were an employee, before you had a business, from the outside it looked quite easy, and then when you're inside, it's a completely different animal, right? It's a different situation. So if we look at those of you that are familiar with Builder's Coach, you'd be familiar with this slide. This is the point I want to get across to you guys, is that systems impact every area of your business. Some people think systems and they think, well, a job scheduling tool, or maybe your financial controls, your bookkeeping systems. But you can have systems for your marketing, right? You can have systems for how you strategize. So having a game plan or a strategy for your business, the direction you're going to take it in, and then reviewing that strategy and course correcting. What's the process or the system for how you do that well, consistently well? For capital, building up working capital and retained earnings. And we'll get into all of this today, right? And there's a process for how I'm going to communicate this today and how we're going to go through it, because there's a sequence for systems implementation. Right, for any guys new to business in your first year or two years? Okay, so this is like phenomenal that you're in the room now, getting this stuff early. It's like having a nice, clean, flat block, and you're going to kick off your business career with best practice systems in place. I was speaking to a guy yesterday morning, and he's early days, like 30 years old, and I'm like, wow, man, it's hard to imagine where you're going to be 5 years from now. Right, because I see phenomenal results within 3 years, and I'll give you an example in a sec. But again, it's really exciting what you can do if you understand the sequence of systems implementation. You make the right decisions on the systems for your business based on where you want to go, but that requires that you know where you want to go. So we'll get to that in a sec as well. And then you've got the right people to help you implement it, and then you know how to ensure that there's consistent compliance. So you got to use your systems, right, to get the benefits. But there's systems for how you can build up working capital, for how you can build up retained earnings, which is really, you should be building up every day, every week, every month. You should be stacking cash in your business, all right? Whether it goes into a separate cash account, an offset account, an index fund, a little bit of crypto, whatever it is, okay? but you can automate that process as well. Sales, having a system for sales. I've been doing this for 19 years. I've never taught sales. I've never taught any builder how to become a salesperson and sell. It's all just 80% process, all right, system. And you follow the system and the results take care of themselves. There's job delivery, obviously getting your work done on time to standard, your administration, everything that happens there. A lot of it paperless these days, or pretty much all of it. Your financial controls and your accounting as well. So finance, your profit, your cash flow, and then those are obviously impacted by workflow, which relates to your marketing and your sales. And then systems is everything, okay? So your operations manual, finance, systems, marketing, HR, job descriptions, KPIs, all that sort of thing as well, right? And then your teams, and also like if someone leaves, if one of your best supervisors leaves all of a sudden or something happens, God forbid, and I've seen that happen where someone dies unexpectedly, how do you replace them? What's your process or system solution for doing that? Okay, that's an HR thing. Recruitment. Leadership, what's your system for you becoming a better leader? Because in order for you to have a business where you're in control and you're more proactive than reactive, you need to have good time management skills. You need to have good leadership skills, and you need to be the type of leader who can grow leaders underneath you, all right? Because the reality is your business is never going to outgrow your leadership. So again, how do we conquer this beast? Because there's an unbelievable amount of complexity once you start unpacking all these. Like the psychology behind marketing, you can go to university for 10 lifetimes just studying that, all right? And then there's, don't get into finance and everything else. So the way we get on top of this, guys, the process or the principle that we follow is the 80-20 rule. You guys, anyone not familiar with that? Pareto principle, 80% of your results come from 20% of your activities. Okay, so results in business, profit, cash flow. And we're going to get into the specifics of that. And then workflow is the third thing. Okay, you want to have consistent workflow, lead flow, and then converting those quality leads, ideally consistent quality leads, into contracts, and then being able to price them profitably. We'll talk about that as well. And then have the money coming in before it goes out. All right, so how do we get on top of that? How do we know where to start? What's that sequence of systems implementation? Well, it's that 20% of systems that give you those outcomes, that bring the money in, basically, that are most responsible for profit, cash flow, workflow. Okay, so we're going to do that, and that's where I'm excited about this workbook, because for the first time in my coaching career, we've put everything in here. So we're going to go through a checklist today. We're going to go through a checklist for that 20% of systems that you need to optimize your profit, cash flow, workflow. So those of you that are new to business, that's absolute gold, right? You're going to be able to identify exactly what to work on, and then have the people, access to the people that can help you get those things put in place quickly and well. Those of you that have been in business for 20 years and you've been doing business development for 20 years and you're all over it, you're ready in what we call a seven-figure club. All right, seven-figure club is netting $1 million after wages and all expenses before tax. I'll show an example in a sec, a real-life example that came through 2 weeks ago. So you're going to review the foundations, those 20%. Maybe you've got them in place, but maybe you're not executing on them as well as you could be. Or maybe there's a better system now, right? So it's always good to go back to the foundations. The best sporting teams do it. They always make sure the foundation's solid, right? But the good news is we've also got the 80% of systems in here as well. So at the back, you'll see there's checklists from pages. We're not going to go through it now. I'm just giving you a heads up, because if you left the room now with this workbook and just went through those checklists, you'll be very successful, all right? So what pages are? Page 81 to 91 is the 80-20 checklist. And again, we're going to go through it today, so you don't have to go through it now yourself. And then pages 104 to 111, you'll see there's a more comprehensive business systems checklist. And guys, these checklists were created from the trenches, okay, from 19 years of just coaching builders, working with guys, tweaking, figuring things out. All right, so that's the process we're going to follow today. But what I need from you guys, right, like there's a couple of things. Firstly, commitment, right? You've taken a day out of your business, right? That's massive. Like, I know how much it means to take a day. It's big for me as well, a whole day, all right? It's a big commitment. So I want you to take this day seriously. Really use this opportunity to make some decisions for your business that'll set you on a different trajectory. All right, I have a lot of builders come to me and they go, man, like, I'm sick and tired of the last 12 months being the same as the previous 12 months and the 12 months before that. The last 4 years just been the same, and I can't sort of break out of this hamster wheel situation that I'm in. How do I break out of it, right? And it's often when you reach a point, you draw a line in the sand and you go, no more. Okay, I'm not doing it again for the next 12 months, working my ass off. And then it's like I'm generating like a volume. Someone was telling me yesterday, like I'm generating turnover, and I seem to be pricing it okay and holding the profit, but there's no money. There's no money left. There's no money in my bank account, all right? So how do you break out of that? So today's the opportunity, because we all playing high-speed Tetris in a wind tunnel, right? It's just, and then time flies. This is where you can stop, and you can, one, make those decisions with conviction, right? Go, okay, this is what we're doing now. We're gonna set the course that way. And then more importantly, you get access to good people that can help you follow through on that, okay? So I want you to take it seriously. There's gonna be great speakers up here, all right? Sharing good information. We've got an expert panel, but also you guys in the room sharing with each other. So you guys cool with that? Have I got your commitment to make decisions and then also share with each other? Awesome.